اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق وخاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق بحق وهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره مقداره العظيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. الحمد لله رب العالمين. أفضل الصلاة وتم تسليما على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. ورضي الله تعالى عن السادة التابعين علماء عاملين وأئمة أربعين مجتهدين مقلديهم إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. This is lesson 6 of the Fiqh of Imam Malik ibn Anas radiallahu anh, of the Mukhtasar al-Akhdari of Shaykh Abdur Rahmaan al-Akhdari rahmatullah alayh. This will be the continuation, the conclusion of the text. It's a long section, inshallah ta'ala, so I will be completing the text after part 5, inshallah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Babu fi Sahw wa Sudjud Sahw fi Salati Sunnatu Fali Nuqsani Sajdataini Qabla Salami Ba'da Mata Tamami Tashahudaini Yaridu Ba'dahuma Tashahudan Akhira وللزيادة سجدتين بعد السلام يتشهد بعدها ويسلم تسليمة أخرى ومن نقص وزاد سجد قبل سلام ومن نسي سجود قبل حتى سلام سجد إن كان قريبا وإن طال أو خرج من المسجد بطل سجود وتبطل صلاة معه إن كان على 3 سنة أو أكثر من ذلك وإلا فلا تبطل ومن نسي سجود بعدية سجده ولو بعد عام ومن نقص فريضة فلا يجزيه سجود عنها ومن نقص فضائل فلا سجود عليه ولا يكون سجود قبل إلا لترك سنتين فأكثر وأما سنة واحدة فلا سجود لها إلا سرا وجهرا فمن أصر في جهر سجد قبل سلام ومن جهر في سر سجد بعد السلام ومن تكلم ساهيا سجد بعد السلام ومن سلم من ركعتين ساهيا سجد بعد السلام ومن زاد في صلاة ركعتين سجد بعد السلام ومن زاد في صلاة مثلها بطلت ومن شق في كمال صلاته أتى بما شق فيه وشق في نقصان كتحققه فمن شق في ركعتين أو سجدة أتى بها وسجد بعد السلام وإن شق في السلام سلم إن كان قريبا ولا سجود عليه وإن طال بطلت صلاته. In this section, the Shaykh, he says that the Sudjud to Sahw, the prostration of Sahw in the prayer is a sunnah. For subtracting something from the prayer, one must make 2 rakats, 2 prostrations. Couple before the final salam, if you subtract something from the prayer. And after the completion of the 2 tashahuds, he then makes another tashahud and another salam for an addition. Meaning that if he adds something to the prayer, then after the salam, he make 2 prostrations, and then he finish with another tashahud, and then the salam. Now, if 2 prostrations are made, 2 prostrations after the salam, 2 prostrations after salam are made, then another tashahud, if one subtracts from and add to the prayer, he should prostrate before the salam. Meaning that if he adds something to the prayer that wasn't supposed to be, and he subtracted something from the prayer that wasn't supposed to be subtracted, then he make a prostration before the 2 prostrations before the salam. If one forgets the one before and says the salam, he should prostrate. If a long time has passed, if a long time has not passed, if a long time has passed, or if he left the masjid, the prostration is invalid. Meaning that if a long time, the first, what was mentioned, if a long time has not passed, meaning that he remember right away, then he prostrates. If a long time has passed or he has left the masjid, then the prostration is invalid. He would have to repeat the prayer. In this case, leaving the qabli, the prayer is invalid for 3 or more sunnahs. If 3 or more sunnahs were missed, but not if it was less than that. If one forgets the ba'di, he must prostrate even if a year has passed. If one misses an obligation from the prayer, then a prostration is not sufficient. If one forgets a recommended act of the prayer, then there is no prostration. The qabli is performed due to the missing 2 or more sunnahs. As for one sunnah, there is no prostration needed unless it was the silent or audible recitation. So whoever recites silently in the audible prayer should prostrate before the salam. Whoever recites audibly in the silent prayer, one should prostrate after the salam. And whoever speaks out of forgetfulness must prostrate after the salam. If one says salam forgettingly after 2 rakats, he should prostrate after the salam. If one adds 1 or 2 rakats to the prayer, he should prostrate after the salam. If one adds the same amount to the prayer, then it is invalid. Whoever has doubt about something in his prayer must perform it. Doubt in prayer is like certainty. So whoever doubts about performing a rakat or sajda, must perform it and prostrate after the salam. If one doubts about saying the salam, he must say the salam if it was nearby and there is no prostration. If a long time has passed, then the prayer is invalid. وموسوس يترك وسوسات من قبله من قلبه ولا يأتي بما شق فيه ولكن يسجد بعد السلام سواء شق في زيادة أو نقصان ومن شهر في كنوت فلا سجود عليه ولكنه يكره عن عمده ومن زاد سورات في ركعتين آخرتين فلا سجود عليه ومن سميع ذكر محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وهو في الصلاة فصلى عليه فلا شيء عليه سواء كان ساهيا أو عامدا أو قائما أو جالسا ومن قرأ سورتين فأكثر في ركعتين وحذات أو خرج من سورة إلا سورات أو ركع قبل تمام سورات فلا شيء عليه في جامع ذلك ومن أشر في صلاته بيده أو راسه فلا شيء عليه ومن قرر فاتحة ساهيا سجد بعد السلام وإن كان عامدا فالظاهر بطلان ومن تذكر سورة بعد انحنائه إلا ركوع فلا يرجع إليها ومن تذكر سيرة أو جهر قبل ركوع أعاد قراءة فإن كان ذلك في سورة وحدها أعادها ولا سجود عليه ومن كان في فاتحات أعادها وسجد بعد السلام وإن فات بركوع سجد لترك جهر قبل سلام ولترك سري بعد السلام سواء كان من الفاتحات أو سورة وحدها. Shaykh, he says that the muwaswis, the one who consistently doubts, must remove the waswas, whispering from his heart, and not perform what he has doubt about, but prostrates after the salam, whether he doubted about an addition or subtraction. If a person recites the qunut audibly, there is no prostration required, but it is disliked to do that intentionally. If a person adds a surah in the second two rakat in the last two rakats, then there's no prostration owed. If one hears the name Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam during the prayer and send prayers upon him, he owes nothing. This is whether he did it out of forgetfulness or intentionally, while standing or sitting. Nothing is owed if one recites two or more surahs after one rakat. Two or more surahs in one rakat. Began one surah and then went to another. Bow after completing the surah. If during the prayer one motions with his hand or head, nothing is owed. If one repeats the Al-Fatiha out of forgetfulness, he prostrates after the salam. If it was done intentionally, then what is apparent is that the prayer is invalid. Whoever remembers the surah after bowing in the rakat must not return to recite it. If one remembers the silent and audible recitation before the ruku, he repeats the recitation. If that was only in the surah, then he repeats the surah, and there is no prostration owed. If that was in the Fatiha, then he repeats it and prostrates after the salam. If he loses the opportunity to repeat it because he went into ruku, then he will prostrate. First, before the salam for leaving the audible recitation, and two, after the salam for leaving the recitation, the silent recitation. The above that's mentioned will be the ruling whether it was the Al-Fatiha or a surah alone. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati ma yasifun wa salamun ala mursalin. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Wa salatu wa salam ala rasulika Imam.